So today we're going to look at making and manipulating grouped objects. So let's go ahead and click on that lesson. And as you're watching this video, you can pause and practice. You can read the instructions on your own, but I'm going to go through this fairly quickly to make sure I don't run out of time. So it gives us this hint that we want to make, well, we need a box. So I'm going to drag a box out there. Sure, it lines up. And then I need two cylinders. There's one, and there's two. So it says I want to make sure that I have all the objects. So I'm going to go ahead and select them. And then it wants me to group them together. Now, whenever I group them, it's going to take the color of the original shape, which was my box that I used. Okay, so in this graphic, they probably just drug out the cylinders first. That's why it's a different color. And they call that inheritance. So what we're going to do is we need to press down Alt because I want to scale about the center, and then I'm going to grab the height handle. It's the white square on top. So I'm press down Alt, and then I'm going to make it just a little bit taller. Okay, and then it wants me to okay, I missed this step. I'm going to press Undo. What it wants me to do is make a copy. So you can either press Edit and press Duplicate, or you can press Control-C to copy, just like you're copying text in a different web browser. You can also press Control-V to paste, but I'll just go ahead and press Duplicate here. And so I'm going to change duplicate. Yeah, there we go. So here is my duplicate, and I'm going to press down Alt and scale it down just a little bit, so that way it's going to be smaller than the original heart. And then I'm going to change this to a hole feature. So now I see that I have two hearts, one of which is smaller because I pressed down, I clicked and then I pressed Alt and I scaled it down, and then I selected the hole in the inspector feature. Now one of the next steps that I ask you to do is select both. And you can do that just by left clicking and dragging, and then it's going to want you to group it together. And remember, whenever you group it, it's more or less going to go treat this like a math function, because what this is saying is I'm going to take a red heart and I'm going to add a red heart, and then I'm going to take a smaller whole heart and I'm going to subtract that away, because whenever it says whole, you're basically subtracting whatever that shape is. So I'm going to press group, and now I can see that I have made a shape that looks pretty similar to what it's going to want me to do later. So you can use these features to do all sorts of different things. Okay, well, I'm done with that, so I'm going to go ahead and select whatever shape I have, and then how do you duplicate it? Well, you can click backspace or Alt backspace, and that'll delete. And I see from the hint it wants a box, and it wants a roof. So I'm putting the roof there, but I noticed that, hey, it's not tall enough. So, well, it's tall enough, but it's not high enough. So I use the little cone feature. That's called the left handle. Click on it, go ahead and drag it up. Okay, so I'm pretty close now. I need to nudge it in place. I'm going to use my arrow keys because that helps me with my fine motor control. I see it matches up pretty well. Okay. Asked me to check my alignment. That looks pretty good. All right, looks like it wants me to change the color. And how do we change the color again? We can click on a shape, and it looks like we want brown, so I'm going to click brown. Then I'm going to click my roof. It looks like the roof wants to be kind of an orange. I'll make that. And that looks pretty close, right? So let's go on to, and it talks to you about group inheritance, because what was the first shape I dragged out? It was the box, right? So if I take this shape and I scoot it over with my arrow keys, because that's the easier thing to do oftentimes, if I select both of these and I press group, what color is it going to change to? What do you think? Well, which one was first? It was the box, right? So it should change to the darker brown. And you can tell here again, they must have drug out the roof first, because theirs matched the color of the roof. So we can see two different examples there. Now, what if I had these? Well, I mean, I had a group together, right? Let's click on color. Now, remember, originally they were different colors, and I liked it that way, so I want to return it to that. We can see it says preserve original colors in group. So click that, and bada bing, bada boom, we're back to multicolor business. All right, so now we're going to talk about some scaling. So how can I scale this object? I can click on it, and I see I've got my corner scaling handles, but I see I only want to scale in one dimension. So I see black dot, black dot, black dot, black dot. And I can say I want to go this way, so, I mean, intuitively, you should kind of just assume that we need to go that direction, right? And it wants us to scale the house until it's 50 meters along the y-axis. Is that 50 meters? Or 50 millimeters? I can click on this. Oh, I'm just 1 millimeter short. So, boom. It wants us to continue the next step. All right, so we're going to talk about a different feature here. Well, no, I guess we already did. We're going to select our shape. I'm going to click Edit, Duplicate. And so now I have a shape, a duplicate shape that's overlapping exactly with what I have. And the directions say duplicate the shape and rotate it around 90 degrees around the z-axis. It says z-axis, but I think they mean x-axis because it's on being flipped vertically. So it looks like the lesson has a bit of a typo. So now I've got this cool cross-looking audition sign looking house, and it says it looks odd, so we need to scale down one of my sections. I basically need to make it look like this. So how can I do that? Well, let's pick one of our shapes, and I see that I've got my scaling here. I can click on one of the black dots because that controls just one of my portions, and I can just scale it down to where it matches up with the house. Okay, let's see what the next step is. All right, so now I can more or less just customize the house and make it appear like what I want it to do. Okay, so we can see this looks different. So what did I do? I must have scaled out the duplicate, not the original. So let's make this match what the hint says. Okay, and I can add other little details and do things, but we get the idea. So we're basically using the scaling handles to scale out where I need to go. I'm using grouping to either combine shapes or combine a shape and a hole to make an entirely new shape. I can also use the left handle to go up and down. I can change the color, and this gives me plenty of tools to go on and play around with.